Talk 2 fluency from beginner to fluent.
Take your English skills to the next level.
Welcome back to the deep dive. So you're staring down the barrel of the IELTS exam, and maybe you've only got, about 30 days on the clock?
Mm-hmm.
It feels like an impossible mountain to climb, doesn't it? That immediate thought often rushes in. How on earth do I get ready for this and actually succeed in such a tight time frame?
Yeah, it sounds daunting. Absolutely.
But here's the interesting part. What if I told you that with the right laser-focused strategies, a clear plan, and a very precise kind of effort, preparing for the IELTS in just 30 days is not only achievable,
Right.
but it can lead to truly surprising results. Today, that's our mission. A deep dive into precisely how to make those 30 days count.
That's precisely it. Our mission for this deep dive is to go beyond the generic advice you might find everywhere.
Yeah, cut through the noise.
Exactly. We're going to extract only the most practical, truly actionable strategies that come directly from expert insights. We'll focus on what genuinely moves the needle, highlighting the often underestimated potential for significant improvement in a remarkably short time frame when you apply these specific proven methods, like really apply them.
Okay, let's unpack this right away because it touches on a common human inclination. When you're facing a challenge like this, especially with that ticking clock, the natural instinct for many is just to put their head down, right? Grab every textbook and try to go it alone. I'll just power through it. But is that truly the best foundational step? Or is there something else we should be considering? Maybe something counterintuitive right from the start?
It's fascinating how many students fall into that exact trap. The counterintuitive truth, the very first thing you should always do is seek assistance.
Right away.
Right away. It's not just helpful, it's absolutely critical. Often it's the biggest shortcut to success, actually. Think about it. You don't want to be 2 weeks or even 1 week out from test day suddenly realizing you're completely lost.
Or worse, on the day itself.
Exactly. You certainly don't want the realization to hit you on test day itself that you desperately needed a guide. A teacher or an experienced mentor, they can spot your blind spots, give you targeted strategies, and feedback that immediately corrects your course. We've seen it make a difference of several points in a single sitting for a student just from one targeted session.
Wow, just one.
Just one. Now imagine those compounded gains week after week over a full month. You get so much vital information, you avoid wasted effort.
Yeah.
And you're just in a vastly stronger position by test day. It truly is about being proactive, not reactive.
That makes a profound difference, being proactive, like you say, rather than waiting for a crisis. So, okay, beyond getting that direct, specific test help, what about building some more fundamental habits, maybe less obvious ones, things that will support your preparation? Because it can't just be about cramming practice tests, can it? That feels like a recipe for burnout.
You've hit on a crucial point there, something many test takers overlook. And honestly, it often becomes their secret weapon. While specific test practice is necessary, cultivating healthy, consistent reading and listening habits is incredibly valuable, and it impacts every section of the test.
Every section, not just reading and listening.
Every section.
Yeah.
We're not just talking about IELTS-specific materials here. It's about engaging daily with things like reputable newspapers, quality magazines, insightful news podcasts.
Like BBC News or something like that?
Exactly. Or educational YouTube channels, documentaries. Think about it. Diving into a well-written article, maybe from The Economist, or listening to a BBC podcast, it does several things simultaneously.
Right.
It naturally builds your reading speed and comprehension. It exposes you to wider, more sophisticated vocabulary, in context. It subtly strengthens your grammar as you internalize correct structures. And, critically, it fills your mind with ideas.
Ideas for speaking and writing, you mean?
Precisely. These aren't just any ideas, they're nuanced opinions, common ways arguments are structured, current affairs knowledge. That content becomes pure gold for generating compelling arguments and examples in your speaking and writing. It's like the background hum of English proficiency that lifts all boats.
That's a fantastic framing, the secret weapon that underpins everything. Okay, so With those general foundational habits building, let's move into the actual test sections. First up, writing.
Okay.
It's a race against the clock for many, needing precision under pressure. After we've started building those general reading habits, what are the specific actionable strategies for conquering reading effectively within this challenging 30-day window?
Right. The reading section is definitely high pressure.
Yeah.
So beyond general reading, you need to deeply understand the specific question types and the overall structure of the IELTS reading test.
Okay.
This is where, again, a teacher's guidance becomes almost indispensable. They can quickly teach you techniques like skimming for main ideas, scanning for specific details or keywords.
Right, stimming and scanning.
Exactly. How to locate answers efficiently. For example, if you encounter a true-false not given question, there's a very precise methodology to distinguish between info that's just not there and info that actually contradicts the text.
Which is tricky.
Very tricky. Or for matching headings, it's about understanding the paragraph's core purpose, not just finding a few matching words. The goal is to practice these techniques with a teacher so thoroughly that they become second nature.
So you're not thinking about how to do it on the day.
Exactly. You shouldn't have to think about strategies on test day. They should just flow naturally. That lets you focus on the content and, importantly, the clock.
That idea of internalizing techniques until they're intuitive is powerful. But, I hear a lot about students just doing practice test after practice test,
Yeah.
getting a score, moving on. Is simply practicing and getting a score enough? Or is there a critical, often overlooked aspect of practice we need to emphasize for real improvement? Because it feels like if you're just tallying scores, you're missing something crucial.
You've just pinpointed one of the biggest pitfalls.
Yeah.
Honestly, maybe the biggest missed opportunity in IELTS prep.
Really?
Yeah. Simply practicing and getting a score is almost entirely unhelpful for true improvement if you don't follow through with meticulous review.
Okay, meticulous review. What does that look like?
Well, it's like a sports team practicing a play over and over, but never watching the game film to see why they fumbled the ball or missed the shot.
Ah, good analogy.
There's absolutely no point taking 3 practice tests in 3 days if you're not going to dissect them thoroughly. The key is to review all your practice materials. Find out not just why you got the right answers right, because understanding that reinforces good habits,
Right.
but even more importantly, why the wrong answers were wrong.
Delving into the mistakes.
Precisely. Was it a vocabulary gap? Did you misunderstand the question type? Did you misread a crucial instruction, like no more than 2 words? Did you fall for a common distractor?
The distractors.
Exactly. This active process of discovery is how you pinpoint your weaknesses and prevent yourself from making the same mistake twice. Without this deep dive into your errors, you're just reinforcing bad habits or, frankly, just guessing.
That makes so much sense. It's about becoming a detective of your own errors, not just a scorekeeper.
Right.
Okay, now, the listening section often feels similar to reading, needing those broad habit-building skills.
It does, yeah.
But what are the specific, nuanced strategies for mastering listening effectively within this 30-day time frame? Are there different kinds of challenges here that need unique approaches?
Yes. While the foundational listening habits are crucial, just like with reading, listening has its own unique challenges. Beyond general exposure to diverse English news, podcasts, documentaries, you need specific test-taking skills.
Like what?
For instance, in Section 1, where you often fill in blanks with names or numbers, it's about predicting the kind of information needed and knowing how to quickly jot down keywords, maybe abbreviations. Then as you move to sections with longer monologues than Section 4, the challenge shifts. It becomes about effective note-taking, identifying main ideas versus supporting details. You need to learn how to manage distractors information that sounds plausible but isn't the right answer.
Those tricky multiple choice ones sometimes.
Exactly. But again, and I really cannot stress this enough, the profound importance lies in reviewing your answers just as meticulously as you do for reading.
Same principle applies.
Absolutely. Understanding why you got the right ones right, and especially why you got the wrong ones wrong, is crucial. It's often the same test designers, and they use consistent patterns, consistent types of traps.
Ah, okay.
Decoding these patterns through rigorous review makes it much easier to anticipate and improve. It ultimately simplifies those trickier questions that need deep comprehension. It's about understanding the logic behind the test, not just the content itself.
Okay, we've dissected reading and listening broad habits, specific strategies, and that critical role of review. Now let's shift focus to writing. I know many people find this particularly challenging, often because it feels so subjective. With only 30 days, where should someone even begin to tackle writing effectively?
For the writing section, let me state this unequivocally. A teacher is indispensable.
Indispensable, strong word.
It really is. This might even be the very first lesson you want to take. Why? Because a teacher can immediately guide you through the different task types.
General training versus academic and all the essay types.
Exactly. Whether you're doing general training or academic, they'll explain the various kinds of essays, agree, disagree, problem solution, advantages, disadvantages, or letter writing, analysis of data like charts and graphs. They're crucial for teaching you not just what to write, but crucially what not to do. They provide the framework for clear, organized, relevant responses that examiners are looking for. They'll teach you effective paragraphing, how to develop ideas logically, use appropriate vocabulary, grammar.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive. We hope these insights provide clear, actionable steps for your IELTS preparation. See you later in Talk to Fluency YouTube channel.
Talk to Fluency from beginner to fluent.
Take your English skills to the next level.